No, actually, I'm sorry. That's not true. I'm sorry. Colts. That was a mistake. Colts Bears.
Oh, Colts Bears.
The rainy one.
That one,
the one
did
that
very
rained
well. That
whole
one was in Miami.
Super Bowl. It was
that
Miami.
one was outdoors, yes.
Yes, it was outdoors. It rained the entire time. I was sitting in the Fort Lauderdale airport, and I had on I think I had a Nashville Predators shirt on.
All right.
And this guy, I was delayed. He was delayed. And he just started talking to me, and he said, I listen to you all the time. And I was just like, huh. And so we just started talking, and I was like, so what do you do? And he's like, I'm an agent. I'm a sports agent. And he's like, I've got a bunch of Bears and Colts players down here. So for the Super Bowl, and I was like, oh, cool. And we sat there and talked for an hour. And again, same deal. That's what I got out of him. You're an agent? Oh, yeah. Bears and Colts players. That's the extent of it.
That narrows it down to about 100 guys.
That was, it was about 110 guys, right?
Yeah.
That's about it. That's the extent. And we talked for an hour.
Yeah.
But that's all I got out of it.
Could be the practice squad.
Didn't tell me any names.
Or it could have been,
I just represent Colts and Bears players.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he never played. He said he didn't play professional, but he played in college a little bit. I'm like, that's interesting. How did they get into being an agent?
Most of them are lawyers, is my experience. Most of them have law degrees.
Yep. All right, we'll come back. By the way, there's been a lot of announcement. Jeez. There's been a big announcement involving NIL and the NCAA. Bill Keene will join us at 3 o'clock. We'll get his reaction to who's in the playoffs, who's out, but also this kind of groundbreaking news when it comes to NIL and the NCAA. What does it mean for the landscape of college football and college athletics moving forward? We'll get into all that to begin the second hour of the program with Bill. But when we come back, our man Vince Ferrara, 99.1, the sports animal in Knoxville. There's a lot of news to get into with him as well. And we will do that next as you listen to the McFarland Show on Nashville Sports Radio.
And now, Tennessee Heat and Air is reminding motorists to slow down on our roadways, keep an eye out for kids at play, and never text and drive. This message is brought to you by Tennessee Heat and Air. For all your residential or commercial heating and air repairs, maintenance, and installations, give the pros a call today at 615-856-3610. 615-856-3610. That's Tennessee Heat and Air, going the extra mile for safety. They're professionals who care.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple: incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cuts, from the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
This is something I wish I'd known. Many people who live in Tennessee are eligible for help paying for healthy food for pregnant and new moms, their babies, and young children, but don't realize it. Family income can be higher than you think. There's a website called TennesseeMeals.com for more information. Assistance for healthy food for expectant moms and young children. This information I need to share. TennesseeMeals.com.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Justice Center, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and the state.
It's a Bill King Show.
We created a rule decades ago on the show. Weddings, things of that nature, during the playing portion, do not get consideration. No. Don't do that. Weddings are meant for the spring. They do not get consideration during the playing portion of the season. That's just the way we work it around here. That's the way we play it around here.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
Enjoying this gorgeous Tuesday afternoon here in the Music City. Beautiful, beautiful day. In December. Gotta love it. We are the McFarlands, Darren and Justin, and we are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio, and we are headed straight to Knoxville. 99.1, the sports animal. He's the host of the morning show with John Wilkerson, and he is our man, Vince Ferrara. Vinny, how we doing?
Good, guys. Yeah, the weather's nice here, like 50, 52, sunshine, blue skies. So, yeah, ditto.
You're doing better than Florida State fans these days, aren't you? And Georgia fans.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to unwrap in that for sure. We can take up all the time just on that.
Okay, just quickly before we delve into Vols stuff, what was your reaction Sunday morning when you saw the Final Four? You knew it was coming. You know, I don't know. Just take it however you want.
I was kind of going back and forth. You know, towards the end that morning, I was thinking, man, I just don't think they will do it where they'll leave an undefeated Power 5 champion out because of a player that is out. But then, you know, when it happened, I remembered Bill Corrigan said a couple of weeks ago that, hey, we don't look at what a team is going to be moving forward with players that may be missing or any other factors. We look at all the factors only at the end, which gave them the out to be able to leave Florida State out. I would like to see them go off of most deserving and not make that determination on what a team is going to be like moving forward and reward them for what they got in. Their job to me is not to put together the best matchups to where we don't have blowouts and you have competitive games, because God knows 75% of those things have been blowouts, right? So I don't think that's their job, but it also, under the umbrella, is the best four. And that's what they decided to go with based on Jordan Travis not being there. Now, people forget they weren't humming on offense the last couple of games. They squeaked by and scored in the low 20s a couple of games before Travis went down. But there's no doubt they were much, much better, and it was on them. If they looked better, if they housed Louisville, I don't think we're having this conversation. They did not. It's unfortunate it came down to that. And so somebody was going to be unhappy. And to be honest with you, I don't even think they got the four best teams, which is what they're kind of going off of and they're trying to do. Because I don't think that Georgia is not one of the four best teams in the country. So it was going to be a mess, and people were going to be unhappy anyway. And then those alliance commissioners are to blame that we didn't have an expanded playoff this year, that we had to wait till next year.
Yeah. I mean, look, I say to all my mad Florida State fans, well, your commissioner voted down having the 12-team playoff this year. So,
yep.
I mean, be mad at your commissioner. Yep. You had an opportunity to vote yes, and you voted it down. So, Tennessee and Iowa. So, good news is Tennessee just has to score, so they can win that bowl. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, New Year's Day, noon Central Time on ABC. I'm sure you're very excited on where the Vols got placed.
Yeah, selfishly for sure.
Yes.
And close to home, just a traffic-ridden ride up Interstate 4 from Tampa to Orlando, because there is just ridiculous traffic, no doubt. But they haven't been there since January 1st, 2002. So it is one of the longer droughts among the regular bowl games in the rotation, especially any of the other ones in Florida. So I think it's cool. They met Iowa in the Gator Bowl, I guess it was in 2015, and they housed them. I like Tennessee in this game, probably by a couple of scores, and like you said, it's probably not going to take a whole lot. We'll see what both teams have in terms of who's opted out and that kind of thing.
True.
But you know, the take the under jokes are gonna be the norm, even though I think that's the lowest over under total out of any of the bowl games. I believe that's right. So much like that Big Ten championship game when Michigan had the big return inside the 5 and you knew they were going to punch it in, it was ball game right there. And they didn't even need that, as it turns out. So it's just a real struggle to watch Iowa on offense.
Yes, it is. Somebody who's watched them this season, it's a very, very difficult watch. The transfer portal, it's bad. It's bad everywhere. It is. You could build one hell of a team just by taking transfer portal players, right? If you just started up a team and took guys in the transfer portal, and were able to draft them and say, "I'll take you and I'll take you," you could put together one heck of a team. How's it looking on the Tennessee side of things?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, people have made this comparison like NFL free agency, and then you could do that with NFL free agents some years and field a really good team. It hasn't been any star players or big starters or anything in the portal so far. I think I hadn't looked here recently, but as of like last night, early this morning, it was 5 guys that had hit the portal. One is a grad transfer, defensive back Warren Burrell, a couple of offensive linemen, and Addison Nichols and Mo Clipper, a safety and Jack Luttrell, who was in last year's signing class. That's kind of the list right now. So John Campbell put out on social media that he's coming back. That's a starter. So I think because there's a lot of senior decisions, I think people are maybe locking in more on those. You're going to have your backups that are going to look for greener pastures. There's no doubt about it. And, Tennessee's put out plenty of offers to other guys. Oh, Brandon Turnage, the former Alabama player, was the other one that I was thinking of. That's the 5, the DB. But none of those guys were starters or, big players. So if somebody significant or a starter, big name, then that's different. But that hasn't happened at Tennessee so far. So, they offered Middle Tennessee D lineman Marley Cook and Texas A&M offensive lineman Remington Strickland, and a tight end that they saw that had a really good game, and Justin Jolie from UConn. Those are a couple that they've offered, and I'm sure there's more that are out there. Interestingly, there's a trio from Nashville you guys may have talked about from Kentucky. They hit the portal in the Wade brothers and then Shamar Porter. Tennessee was involved in all of those guys, and so none of them have broken out or done anything yet, so of note. But that's potential coming in to look at.
Are the Wade brothers the twins or the guys that went to Summit?
Yeah, Keaton, the linebacker, and Destin, the quarterback.
They're both in the portal?
Yeah.
Interesting. Sensenball committed to Vanderbilt, decommitted, and supposedly was going on a visit to Tennessee. Do you know anything? I know the first signing day is coming up. Do you know anything about where that is? Are they in on Sensenball?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Not heard on Sensible. As far as the early signing period, which is obviously a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest uncommitted player, the highest rated uncommitted player, is a 5-star offensive lineman in Jordan Seaton. And Tennessee is getting predictions for him. They were here. He was here recently. I think they're in a good position for him. That's probably out of anything anyone is tracking. That's in terms of fans and so forth. That's the one for the early signing period that is what people want the most. And it's certainly a need position, especially when you're losing depth on your line and you still don't know. There's a number of guys on the offensive line and defensive line that have decisions on whether they can come back or not, whether it's Javonte Spraggins who got hurt or Cooper Mays. Those guys can really change what the line looks like coming for next year. So they need talent there. They need some first round talent there, and I think they were missing that this year. So Seton is a big name to look for in terms of the early signing period in the regular 2025 class.
What did you make of the decision today on the paying the athletes via NIL? And how do you think that's going to affect things?
Honestly, I haven't. I haven't broken that down. I hadn't seen that. By the way, it's 2024 class, this upcoming signing class. But no, honestly, Darren, I have not seen that yet. I've been a little enjoying a day off, honestly.
Good for you.
I did not. Yeah, wasn't on the radio, so I got one more tomorrow. We're squeezing in our vacation days while we can. So it's been Daphne time and some house cleaning and trying to avoid social media if at all possible.
Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun. You got to vote for the Heisman. The 4 names were put out there: and Penix and Nix and Daniels and Marvin Harrison Jr. Where do you think that's headed? I think it's pretty interesting race. I still hate it. I wish they would stop. I wish they would just do a quarterback award and then let other people. Because, honestly, I mean, I think Marvin Harrison, you can make a strong case as the best player in college football, and he's not going to win it. I mean, it just goes to a quarterback every year. So I wish they would, and the pros should do it too. The NFL should do it too. I wish they would just give the quarterbacks their own award and then let others who deserve it, that it's like the NFL MVP. Tyreek Hill is probably going to have another very, very special season, and he's not going to win the MVP because it's going to go to a quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard, and there are the quarterback awards, and especially in college, it's hard because you could say maybe if it was like a pound for pound, a play for play, who's the best player, I think you can make great arguments for a lot of guys, including Marvin Harrison Jr. and depending on the year, certain defensive players, defensive linemen or running backs, things like that. But the quarterbacks control so much and they impact so much. They have their hands on the ball so much, and there's a lot on their plate in terms of impact. Sometimes you can be a wide receiver, and even though teams have to scheme for you, go to into a game and you only touch the ball, half a dozen times. So that's not their fault, but when the quarterbacks are in the middle of everything, that's where they're going to get the benefit of the doubt so much. And it is easy. And honestly, there were so many special seasons for quarterbacks this year. I think they have the right group there. So I'll say that. I can't say who I voted for. I'm glad to talk about it afterwards when they announce it, but I do think that they have the right group there. There's plenty of other special players, but quarterbacks are just involved in so much. I think it's the way to go.
You were at Tennessee Vols basketball practice yesterday, and you couldn't join us because basketball practice ended early. What does it take for basketball practice to end early?
Well, Rick Barnes being satisfied, I guess.
See, it's exactly what I thought. He said, "Now, you know what? We're good. Everything is good. Everything is about as good as it's going to get for today. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night."
And, but some of it is it's not just we fixed everything. Some of it is okay. We have limited players. Dalton Connect practice, but he didn't do everything. You're still trying to ramp up Zakai Ziegler. Toby Awaka was able to go through full practice for the first time. But you don't want to extend him with his ankle injury. You're hoping to maybe get some minutes from Freddie DeLeon, who suffered a foot injury earlier this year, and he's been limited. So they're kind of banged up too, Justin. So that might be also a factor in, hey, we did good work in this period of time. Let's not add too much to them now. Let's get to the game. And another thing is, too, is they're going to have a pretty light Christmas schedule, as light as it's been at Tennessee for like 15 years. And they play Saturday against Illinois, obviously ramps back up at home on CBS. Then they have one other game on the 22nd, I think, Tarleton State, and then that's it till Norfolk State on January 2nd, and then it's conference play. So they've done a lot of they do have NC State. I'm sorry, they do have NC State as well as San Antonio. So through the holidays, it's lighter than it's been a long time. So there's still a couple of tough games, but I think they want to prepare for conference play while still working on some things to get better.
Fair enough. The Lady Vols coming off a couple of very tough losses here over the last couple of games here for them. Where are we as far as that program is concerned? Was this expected? Is this disappointing? Is this rebuilding? What is happening there?
Well, it's hard to fully judge them. They've also been injured. They haven't had Rakia Jackson, who's their best player. Tamari Key, who missed last year with the blood clots. She's still trying to ramp her way back in terms of minutes and effectiveness. And they've had other injuries as well. But when they do play, who has been out there, it's been kind of some of the things that have gotten them in the past. When they don't play well, they turn the ball over a bunch. And in the Notre Dame loss, they only give up 25 points in the first half to Notre Dame, and in the second half, Notre Dame scored like 49 on them, and Tennessee had 17 turnovers, and Notre Dame dominated them in the paint and in rebounding. So they need Rakia Jackson back. They need a full squad where you can fully evaluate them. But some of the stuff that has been there in recent years that has led to losses has still resurfaced during those games. So we'll see on them moving forward.
I noticed the Volunteers took the time to celebrate one of my personal favorite Vols of all time, someone who was electric on the field, and that is Eric Berry. And the highlights will live in my mind of Eric Berry running up and down the field forever in my mind. Just a special player and left a special legacy there at Tennessee. And I think a lot of people are sometimes forget some of these guys who come through, and I think it's very cool. I know Joey Kent also got some love recently with a legacy award from the SEC. A couple of Vols here, and I just am asking you, Vince, the special attention that Vols of the past are receiving here to make sure that their legacy is remembered, and I would imagine it's a recruiting tool to let people know if you come here, you do special things, your name is remembered for years to come.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee does a great job of bringing back and showing love and respect to their former greats. When Eric Berry was recognized at the Tennessee game a couple of games ago, he jumped on the Vol Network pregame show with us and just telling amazing stories of inspiration. And I mean, there's never, I can't, since I've been on the Ball Network there in our pregame, I can't remember a bigger crowd of not even just fans, of like people wanting pictures with him, those of us on the crew and everybody else. And he's an incredibly special dude. But Tennessee always does a really nice job. Anytime those guys are recognized, whether it's last year's Vols, 2 years ago's Vols, or 20 years ago's Vols, when those guys come out and they're introduced inside of Neyland Stadium, the stadium erupts. Tennessee fans don't forget. They don't forget the bad times, but they don't forget the legends either. And Eric Berry is one of the most popular Vols ever. And they do videos with him. I think he did the pregame video for Georgia, so sort of the hype video. He's definitely a special dude.
You may not know the answer to this, and that's fine. How well do you expect Iowa to travel? I know the Vols will. What are you expecting from Iowa for this game?
I think they will travel some, but Tennessee will multiply them. That was the case in Jacksonville last time. I think it was Jacksonville they played. But yeah, last time they met in the bowl game, there was a lot more Tennessee. It's a lot more Tennessee with everybody they play, though. So there'll be some. They'll be represented. There's no doubt. You don't miss them, and they're black and gold. But there'll still be a lot more Tennessee fans, despite people being, some people frustrated with the year or wanting Nico and ready to move on from Joe Milton. Not everybody feels that way, but some do. There's still plenty of Vols fans that are going to travel and going to take the trip to Florida and have a good time and support the Vols, no doubt. So there'll be some, but nothing close to Tennessee.
As we wrap this up, Vince, the Lady Vols, I know they've been going the wrong way, but pretty interesting. I don't know how many people know this, but a neutral site game tomorrow night down in Huntsville, Alabama. Lady Vols and the MTSU Lady Raiders.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I think I remember, when that first happened, talking about it and hearing about it, and thought that was an interesting addition to the schedule. But good for them. I mean, that brand, especially in a different area like that, carries. And so, yeah, I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Probst Arena down there.
Rick Enzo obviously had a unbelievable relationship with Pat Summitt, but pretty cool to see the two programs coming together in Huntsville tomorrow night at 6:30 will be the tip, Central Time, 7:30 your time. Vince, appreciate the visit as always. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon. We'll get find out your vote.
Thank you, sir.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll talk next week, and I'm going to stock up on Cheez-Its.
There you go.
Here you go, man.
January
Feeling
1st.
cheesy.
All right, Vince Ferrara, 99.1. The sports animal there in Knoxville does a morning show with John Wilkerson. We'll take a break. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600 is the phone number and how you can get in touch with us. We'll be back.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Callaway Paradigm Woods, forged carbon for unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home with a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Prince's Hot Chicken. The Tango Malls has everybody talking about it, including the head basketball coach at TSU, Brian Penny Collins.
I went to Whites Creek High School. Before every game, we went to Prince's Chicken on Dickerson Road. Every single game. And it's the best. It's a staple in Nashville. And it just takes me all the way back.
Prince's Chickens, from tenders to whole wings. They got baked beans, collard greens, and delicious desserts. It's all at Prince's Hot Chicken. Heat and flavor. Prince's is the original home of hot chicken worldwide. Check us out at the downtown location right across from Bridgestone Arena in the Fool Assembly Hall. South Nashville location on Noblesville Road. And the new Tango Outlet Mall in Antioch. Interested in working in a great environment with great hourly wages? Please submit a resume to Prince's Hot Chicken, AFH@gmail.com, or fill out an application on the Prince's Hot Chicken website. That's princeshotchicken.com. And then click on Join Our Team, princeshotchicken.com. Prince's Hot Chicken, proud sponsor of WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you could win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out. Watch your entry update in real time and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I believe this franchise right now, unfortunately, is paying for the sins of a lot of bad draft picks and bad signings. You can only dodge that for so long. When you think about going back-to-back years with your first-round pick and get nothing, that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. It just
The
is.
McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Five-state forecast.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio WNSR Skyscan forecast. For today, we'll have a mostly sunny sky, high 56. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, low 36. Partly sunny Wednesday, high 48. Sunny Thursday, high 58. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio WNSR.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Earmuffs for Tony in Nolensville. Looks like it's official. Scotty Waldron,
Yeah.
UTEP.
UTEP.
Going to be a Miners head coach.
Leaving Clarksville for El Paso, Texas.
Leaving Austin Peay and going to El Paso, Texas, where I've been. And I've been to that stadium, the Sun Bowl. And as you drive there, you are looking to the right, and there is basically prison penitentiary fencing because it's Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah, I can see that.
UTEP's pretty good program.
Okay. Yes.
Not bad.
Yes,
Not
I
bad
would
at
agree
all.
with that.
They've had some good years. So, unfortunately, Scotty Waldron leaving Austin Peay is not going to be MTSU's next coach. He's going to be the UTEP's next coach, which is in their same conference.
Interesting.
All right? All right. 615-844-5600. Let's go to Nate down in Columbia, Tennessee. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys? I'm going to have a couple of personalities today for y'all. I liked the fact that Georgia did not get in because I've got a bunch of Dogs family members, extended family members, and I won't have to hear any grown men or women barking because they won a national championship, so I'm very thankful for that. But I do not like that Alabama got in. It's not the fact that they, that I don't think they deserve to get in or anything. It's just the fact that I don't like Alabama. Florida State, I think, did kind of get hosed, but they did. I didn't get to watch the championship game they played in. It looked like that they didn't play very well, considering the score. So, I mean, it's just the fact that the committee basically talked out both sides of their mouth.
Okay. In what way?
That they were basically saying we did not want to give it to the four teams that deserve to get in. We wanted to give it to the four best teams. Well, okay, yeah, Georgia got beat by Alabama by 3, but I mean, when you say they're probably a little, and it really pains me to say this because I really don't like Georgia because of my family. Georgia, I think, is a better team than Texas.
Look, I don't know how you look. Here's, and I know you can't. I know you can't go off of this, but I've had a little fun with my Florida State fans who are really, really alumni who are very, very angry.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you deserve to be in. And again, this is just me jabbing, right? It's like how much are you favored over Georgia again in your bowl game? Oh, wait a minute. You're a 2-touchdown underdog to Georgia? You're a 14-point underdog to Georgia. So I don't know. Look, it was a no-win situation.
Absolutely.
I said it yesterday, Nate. Look, I don't have a problem with factoring in that their star quarterback is out. Like it's just you had a chance the last 2 games of the season and you look like crap. You just did. And I get it. The backup played in Florida. They were down 12-0. That score was not indicative of the game. They did come back and win in the Swamp. with their backup. Their backup got hurt, did not play in the championship game. It was the third-string freshman quarterback. I get it. You'll have your backup for a playoff game. But guess what? You muddled through that and barely beat Louisville in a very, very boring game. And so Texas, their last 2 games were on fire. Okay? They looked like world beaters their last 2 games. You're dealing with a human committee, not computers. You're dealing with people, and people see that stuff. And I don't have a problem with it because if we're just being real, and I hate it, I get it. You went undefeated and you won your conference championship, but you're not that good without your star quarterback. You're just not. You would have been an underdog by at least a touchdown to everybody in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah. So quickly going to what y'all were talking about with Vince, definitely Eric Berry. I wish he could have stayed in college forever. I loved watching him play. I don't know if y'all remember this, but when he was up for Heisman, and I'll never forget this, one of the basketball players for Tennessee, and his rapper name was Swiper Boy. I wonder if Damon remembers this. They made a song or rap or whatever you want to call it for Eric Berry's basically Heisman, part of the Heisman, trying to root him on and everything,
Heisman campaign.
Campaign.
Campaign. Yeah. Did y'all ever listen to that?
No.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it goes like Eric Berry, yo, he's scary. Tell their other homies, don't you dare me. Eric Berry, Eric Berry, Eric Berry, Eric Berry.
Wow.
Do the Heisman, come on. Do the Heisman, come on. Yeah, I remember it. And yeah, Eric, I hate that he had to retire from the NFL because he was just so great. Yeah. But
wow,
y'all have a great day, guys.
Good for you, Nate, for remembering that. Nicely done.
Man.
Golf clap.
Got the
for Nate in Columbia.
Lyrics and everything.
I know.
Jeez.
All right, we'll come back, take our final break, and wrap up the first hour with Tony, a very sad Tony. And we'll do that next.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time. If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Michael Fabiano here, and if you want even more excitement on game day, it's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you can win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Watch your entry update in real time and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. And right now, when you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code PRIMETIME, Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code PRIMETIME for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Jackson Boone Racing. The youngest driver at age 19 to win the coveted Pro Late Model Series Championship at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Jackson Boone Racing. A local kid and Page High graduate who's been winning races since he was 8 years old. Jackson Boone Racing. Come join Red Street Records and Roy's Meat Service, along with the Boone Group, a market leader for your home financing needs. In supporting this rising star, visit JacksonBooneRacing.com to see how you can be a part of the journey and join us running up front. Jackson Boone Racing.
The TSU Tigers men's basketball team of fifth-year coach Penny Collins are coming off a top 3 OVC finish last season and looking for much more this season. Led by preseason all-conference guards Marcus Fitzgerald and Kenyon Hodges, the Tigers face an impressive non-conference schedule that includes Oregon, Lipscomb, Austin Peay, Indiana State, and Liberty, and tip-off league play on December 28th at Gentry Center versus UT Martin. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join longtime TSU broadcaster Albert Dawson on all of the games this season right here on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
We told you at the beginning of the show, MLB winter meetings in town, the Opryland Hotel. Bruce Bochy, 4-time World Series champion as a skipper. Just won it with the Texas Rangers. When asked about MLB expansion to Nashville, Bruce Bochy said, I think it's certainly primed to get a major league team, and I hope it happens.
Yeah, lots of chatter.
Bruce. We do
lots
too,
of chatter.
Bruce. 615-844-5600. Let's go to the phones, or back to the phones. Let's go to a very sad Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's up?
Hello, guys. Hello. Actually, Darren, Pokey's one broke the news to me yesterday morning.
Well, it was out there, but it wasn't.
I have no clue, or didn't hear nothing about Scotty.
It wasn't official.
Leaving Pokey.
It wasn't official. It was out there. There was stuff circulating, but it wasn't official.
As of last night, I did see reports and did get indication he was gone. So, you know what? Austin Peay's turned into the Arkansas State on the FCS level.
A little bit, yeah. Not bad. You're right. That's not bad.
Think about it, we got Mark Hudspeth. He was gone. We had Will Healy gone. Now we've got Scotty Walden. We'll just go get us another one. That's all we got to do.
Yeah.
And hell, we might even go back and get Will Healy to come back. He, I think he was defensive, something on the defensive side in Central Florida right now. So, guys, here's 2 quick questions. I know I'm trying to be quick here. I want to ask the Florida State fans 2 things. Number one, the selection committee did not want to see another debacle like TCU and Georgia last year. They didn't want to see that in the 4. So, I'd like to truthfully ask the Florida State fans right now, do you think your team could beat any of the 4 that's been selected to go?
They will tell you.
No.
They will tell you unequivocally yes, because they are dug in.
They would also tell you that's not the point.
They're dug in. Trust me.
They would also tell you that's not the point.
And here's the other question I like the Florida State fans should be, instead of them hollering about, well, we're being left out because our star player got hurt. Why aren't they asking the question, why is Michigan going with a head coach that got suspended for 6 games and cheating? That's what they ought to be asking.
Yeah, they're not even asking why they're going, why they're not going because of their quarterback.
But anyway, though,
they think that their backup is just fine.
Right. The best 4 are in. So, all right, guys. I wanted to be quick. I've got me a Kleenex, got me a new box of Kleenex. And
who are they going to hire? Who are they going to hire? Give us a scoop. Give us a scoop. Who are they going to hire?
I will. See you guys.
All right, Tony. Okay, I don't think he was listening.
He's
I seem to be talking to.
He's searching.
Someone who wasn't listening to me.
He's searching.
Just was not listening.
Looking for the next guy.
He's searching.
Yeah, he's looking for the next head football coach.
Okay.
It's just what it is there. Listen, the Florida State people don't care if they're one of the best teams or not. They don't. They don't care if they're going to get curb stomped by Washington or Michigan or whoever else. All of that is beside the point.
They're mad because they didn't get a chance.
They're mad because they didn't get a chance. That's it. Yep. That's all this is. All the other ACC champions who are undefeated have gotten to go. That is true. Mm-hmm. That is true. And again, I've looked it up. Clemson, when they were undefeated, they were going to this thing. This year, they're getting the short end of the stick. But again, 6 teams had an argument. There's only 4
messy.
spots.
That's right.
What are you going to do?
Well,
somebody wasn't going to go.
Honestly, Justin, you could expand it. We just leave Ohio State out for dead. It's not like
they're a good 7 team.
Right, they should be in that discussion too.
Probably.
But it was just one of those years where
you only got 4 spots.
You needed it to be 12 teams, and the Big Ten and the Pac-12, and more importantly, the ACC. Those commissioners said,
If you
wait till
switch
2025.
the teams, all you got to do is switch the argument. There is no justice. None. There's no justice to be found with these 4 teams. None. With 4 spots.
We'll continue this discussion with our man Bill Keene. We'll do that to begin the second hour of the program. Also, some news around NIL. We'll ask him about that as well. Stay tuned. More of the McFarland Show. Another hour, another solid hour coming up.
560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. For 10 months, hundreds of key military promotions have been blocked by Senator Tommy Tuberville over opposition to the Pentagon's abortion travel reimbursement policy. Today, Tuberville announcing he's lifting his blockade. Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder says it will still take time to get leaders to get into place once confirmed.
It's not just flicking a switch and suddenly everyone moves into these new positions. You have to consider things like when people can move, where the people that are moving out of the positions are going.
The White House pushing for Congress to approve supplemental funding for Ukraine as it battles Russia. House Republicans, though, say any future funding for Ukraine will be tied to U.S. border security. Israel's prime minister says Israeli forces have destroyed half of Hamas's battalions. IDF says the latest fighting in Gaza is the most intense since the start of ground operations. Human rights groups say it's also making the humanitarian crisis worse. This is ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times National Survey of Pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Listen. You can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the McFarland Show here on this Tuesday afternoon. We are live in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio, and we're going to talk a little bit about college football. NCAA proposes a rule to let schools, athletes enter into NIL deals. What does this mean? Well, let's get our expert, Bill Keene, on the line with us. You can hear his show Monday through Friday starting at 6 a.m., 6 to 9, every day here on these airwaves. Bill, what do you make of this story? What does this mean? Because Justin and I have been trying to sift through it, and I'm not going to speak for him, but I don't think I'm smart enough to understand this fully.
I don't think we know fully what it means other than the original intent of name, image, likeness, which, by the way, is built on a monster lie because there is no police force doing anything about anything, but that's not the conversation. Part of the rule is the universities cannot be involved. A university coach or administrator or AD, what have you, cannot be involved in the distribution of money in name, image, likeness. It's a entity that's called a collective that obviously is a group of Tennessee folks, probably, if you're a Tennessee fan, right? But business people who have this collective, and then they divvy out the money. Now, there's not supposed to be any type of school participation in this, which is a laughing joke. I mean, you're going to go tell Nick Saban I'm divvying out this money the way I want? No. Basically, it's going to make that part legal, which should have been legal in the first place. And then I guess with these collectives, or maybe they cut out the collectives in some way, they will have the money and be able to distribute it themselves, which if you're going to do this, they should have been able to do in the first place.
Are we getting closer to the separation of church and state? In other words, Power 5 and the NCAA?
Yes. Now, let's go back a little bit. To date, the powers of college athletics, the SEC, the Big Ten, et cetera, have not really ever wanted to break away from the NCAA because they understand they have enough power as it is. And controlling everything is not necessarily as sexy as it sounds, right? It's a big bureaucratic headache. But, yes, we're heading that way. And I would say by 2030, guys, it may be faster because we're on a faster track than any of us thought. Jack Swarbrick, the longtime Notre Dame AD and is about to retire, he said about 2 years ago that he could see in 5 to 8 years sports only on campuses, meaning your football team would be there, but the only thing they did is go to the football complex, and the only thing they did is practice football, and the only thing they did is play games. They weren't in class. They don't have to be in class. They're not affiliated with you in any way other than the sports team. At some places that choose to do it, that might be in the future as well. But yes, I do think that we are headed towards a split in the next, again, 5 to 10 years. Hard to say when.
If that is the case, help me understand why is a kid choosing your school? Because if it's not about school, and I understand a lot of that is not the case, but there are still some kids that are going there because of, I can get a degree from here, or there is still some of that. They're not all just football factories, and they could care less about the classroom. So what's going to, like in the pros, you get drafted. So you are told where you're going. You're not getting told at this level, you're choosing. So why would you choose one school over another if you don't have to go to school and you're just going to practice and play football?
It probably, guys, and again, this is guesswork. Nothing is on paper. Would be a mixture of players who didn't want to be involved and others who do. I don't think it would be an either or. Now, could there be a football factory that only takes in guys that aspire for the NFL, even though we know even a small percentage of them make it and they're not going to go to class and they're not obligated? That's possible, but, Darren, I'm thinking it would be a mixture in the beginning. And you would have your dudes who just want to do the sports, and then you would have the others who are thinking about 40 years down the road.
Bill, everything eventually caps off. Like, you can't just be a rocket ship forever. This it's still too new, and too fresh. So people are still opening up their wallets or checkbooks or Venmoing or PayPal or however they're paying these days, these boosters. But at some point, they're going to run out of the money at the rate that they're paying right now. So when do you think that happens? Because you got to admit, like, you can't keep doing this, right? Like Texas A&M, who's the next Texas A&M to pay somebody $76 million to go away, and then, oh, by the way, pay for all these players too?
Well, first of all, now, are you talking about the payers getting played or caps on coaches? Or
I guess it's really about like they can't stay at this rate, right? Because, I think we even talked about this last week, like the story of Cam Ward. Like, he's got 10 schools that are saying, hey, we'll give you at least $1 million, if not more. We don't even really know what the real number is. If you come here, look, if that's happening to Cam Ward, it's happening to lots of other dudes, right? Millions of dollars to come to our school. And, oh, by the way, what's to prevent them from coming there for a year and then doing the same thing over the next year somewhere else?
Like Drake May a year ago.
There you go. Thank you.
Supposedly he got
right.
Here's the answer to your question about the cap. Yes and no, and I'll explain what that answer means. The booster money is finite. Even if a guy's got hundreds of $1 millions, he's not going to want to just keep getting screwed every year, right? I mean, I love Stay You, but you're not going to you're going to get your hands out of my pocket eventually, right?
Yes.
But here's the item. The last bastion for the players and their representatives is the TV money. And at some point, they're probably going to penetrate into that TV money. So the answer is, yes, the money is finite in its current form, but once they get their hands on the TV money, got to remember the playoffs, when we get that next contract, which is solely owned right now by ESPN, it's about $700 million a year. 2 years, that contract goes away, it's going to be $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
The players and their representatives are going to penetrate into that. Some league's going to agree to it. There's going to be a domino effect, and then you're going to have another ascension for quite a long time when it comes to money for the players. So really the answer is no.
Interesting. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to pile on. I'm trying to ask a real question that's going to come off like, I'm poking fun at them. But is Vanderbilt going to be able to field a team next year? Because every time I look, Bill, I can't keep up with the defections. I feel like somebody's in the portal every other hour at Vanderbilt.
They will field a team that could not win the 5A state championship in the TSSAA playoffs. How about that?
Ooh. So this is going to get a lot worse for Clark Lee.
So let's put it this way.
What is worse?
Nothing going on to be positive about.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's bleak.
Yeah.
At best.
Okay.
Define worse.
Well, they did win 2 games this year. So worse is, I guess, over.
They beat Alabama A&M and forget the opener.
Hawaii.
So I guess worse is losing to Alabama A&M and Hawaii. Is that what you're saying, Darren? I just want to be clear. What's worse here? Because they haven't won a game since September. Okay.
Guys,
all right.
Guys,
I'm sorry.
I did over where the Parthenon is. You have that field. I saw them scrimmage mid-October, Nashville Auto Diesel College, and they beat them. That counts. They beat them.
NADC.
Guess there's the picture that's being painted. It's very bleak.
It's tough, it's tough for them to win games. They have greasy hands at NADC, so it's tough for them to hold on to the ball. Bill, I wanted to ask you about everybody's talking about the fact that, of course, Alabama beat Georgia, pulled the upset, got it done, and everybody's been talking about who should be in the playoff and all of that. But I don't think a whole lot's been paid to the actual game itself. So let me ask you, why did Alabama beat Georgia?
I think physicality. They were able to match Georgia's physicality. But, guys, that game really, and you could pick out a bunch of moments, was even. The total yardage was 320 to 310 or something like that. Basically, it was a red zone mesh point fumble recovery by Alabama that they didn't even score a touchdown on, but got 3 points on. was probably, guys, the difference in the game. If you dissect and you're looking for the needle in the haystack, that was about it.
So the literal game of inches, and Alabama won it, and that was all. It was just that simple.
And they were able to possess the ball at the very end, running the ball, and I think Georgia ran out of gas at that point. And that doesn't happen much to Georgia, right?
No.
You don't walk them off; they walk you off. And look, even though I picked Georgia to win every game they played, I said repeatedly, his history says you got to lose somewhere, right? I mean, you cannot maintain 3 years of winning every game. I don't care what it takes. Somewhere you have to lose. I picked Georgia, so I'm not saying I picked them to lose that game, but history indicates that what happened had to happen.
Explain to me why Michigan is number one and not Washington.
Probably brand awareness.
Yeah.
Look, let me. This has not been said. As far as I know, I don't get to hear what everybody says, but that committee, their biggest problem is communication. They don't understand communication. They're not going to be transparent, but Michigan's brand is better than Washington's. And even though Washington was expected to have a good team because Kalen DeBoer has done an incredible job out there, Michigan is going to get more benefit of the doubt, better reputation, and the Buckeye game probably gets a lot more respect than the Washington-Oregon game. Beating them twice is incredible. Guys, you realize Caleb DeBoer has lost 11 games in the history of his head coaching life? 11 games. It's phenomenal. But, guys, back just real quick. The biggest mistake that committee made was not, let's say, week 2 or week 3 of these releases, Tuesday night shows, come on and say, instead of, hey, we don't even take into account Jordan Travis. We didn't even talk about that, which is just garbage.
Baloney.
You have to come on and say, we are looking at Florida State. We respect them. They're winning. But we have to monitor them without their star quarterback. And that will be a factor, just like years ago when Cincinnati was seeded number 1 or going to be seeded number 1 in the NCAA tournament. Kenyon Martin, superstar, blew his knee, and the committee docked him for it. You have to do that.
They were, I think, a 5 seed that year when they would have been the obvious 1 or a 4 or 5 seed because of it.
Correct. But see, they weren't transparent. Now, if you're Florida State, you don't want to hear that week 3 either. I understand that, but at least you know it. They were lied to. We were lied to. You have to make that public. It's useless to sit there and hide.
Bill, how much of the fact that they do not have to do this again next year played into the decision that was made?
I'm not sure I understand. Repeat that.
Sure. How much of a factor that there is no committee trying to pick 4 teams again next year will play into whatever it is that they did over the weekend? Because they don't have to live up to whatever standard they create next year. No one's going to question them about it next year because all the rules change next year.
Yeah, we're going to have more teams. I've thought about that too. I wouldn't think so. Meaning, we've got 12, so get over it. We don't have to deal with that anymore. Just get over it. I don't think so. Now, we will have controversies. It might not be on this level about number 13, but certainly not what this will go down as the biggest controversy in the history of, I would say, the BCS and the playoff era, 1998 to now, as far as at the end how they were selected.
Remember when Auburn got left out?
Oh, boy.
They still talk about it, right?
Yes, they do.
I'm just telling you,
Yes,
I've got Florida State alumni friends. They will talk about this the rest of their lives. I can promise you.
That's true.
They will never forget Sunday.
That's true.
The only comeback I have for that is Tom Tuberville. I've known him forever, and I haven't talked to him in a while. But we've talked about this.
He's been busy with other stuff, Bill. He's been busy with other things up there.
But they would have run into Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, and they would not have beaten that team.
Yeah, but Auburn fans do not want to hear that. Auburn doesn't want to hear that.
I get it.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Florida State doesn't want to hear all the push, all the stuff we can counter with them right now. They don't want to hear it. They will never forget what just happened to them on Sunday.
Now, hey, think about this. If they beat Georgia and Michigan loses, they'll be the only undefeated team. So, like UCF in 17, they can just have their own parade.
They could deem themselves champions. Yeah.
Bill, real quick on the way out the door, Bill. MTSU says they've talked to 20 candidates, and they're trying to figure out, decide on the one. Does 20 candidates in a very short period of time sound about right for Zoom and phone calls when trying to figure out your next head coach?
Well, we're supposed to find out in the next day or so.
Yes.
Going to be interesting, guys. I have no insight there. I've seen some of the items about it, but it's a solid job. It's a springboard. You want to win there and get the heck out. But I'm interested to see who they get and then see who they can go recruit on this notice.
Scotty Waldron took UTEP, so he's not in the mix.
Right.
There's stuff about Tim Banks, UT's defensive coordinator. Do you buy any of that?
It's been out there. I don't know what his level of interest. I don't know if he's waiting on something better. I don't think the timing's right for him to wait for something better.
Okay.
Let me put it that way.
Okay. Bill, appreciate it as always. Thanks for doing
guys.
this.
Thank you.
Bill Keene, tomorrow morning starting at 6 a.m. is when you can hear his show. Does a fantastic job talking college football 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday. We'll take a break. We're wide open the rest of the hour. If you want to get involved, 615-844-5600 is how you do it. You are listening to The McFarland Show.
Do you want to work at the OG of hot chicken, Princess Hot Chicken Tanker, Outlet Mall, 4060 Cane Ridge Parkway, Suite 102 in Antioch? Princess is looking for fun, energetic, and friendly smiling faces as food runners and cashiers. They're also looking to create an amazing culinary team to carry on the Princess tradition. Interested in working in a great environment with great hourly wages? Submit a resume to princesshotchickenafh@gmail.com or fill out an application on the Princess Hot Chicken website. That's princesshotchicken.com. princesshotchicken.com.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
In Tennessee, 967,430 people struggle with hunger, and 295,570 of them are children. That's 1 in 7 who struggle with hunger, and 1 in 5 are children. People who are hungry are not necessarily living on the streets. They may be in your child's classroom, in your neighborhood, or just down the street. In addition, many of these people live in food deserts, which are areas more than 10 miles from the nearest grocery store. Often there are limited resources to get food, and the only option is fast food or convenience markets. While processed food may help with hunger pangs, it provides little to no nutrition. What began in 2008 as a dream to buy land, grow food, and give it away has recently developed into a way to serve and impact more individuals in the community. God has blessed our mission to be a healthy food source to those in need so much, By Faith Farm had to create a nonprofit to continue meeting the need in the community on a larger scale. Visit ByFaithFarm.com to get involved. That's ByFaithFarm.com.
Open that one. It's for me.
Holiday instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Best gift ever! Wait, these tickets are already scratched.
Yeah, it was me. I was just so excited. But look, we won!
'Tis the season for epic cash prizes. This year, give the most winning gift of all. Holiday instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Oh, what game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Jim Rome is here weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
Give the show a couple of weeks. You're not going to like it. Nobody likes this show the first time they heard it. My wife hated the show. I married her. Give it 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks you can honestly say to me, you know what? I listened to every day for 2 weeks, and the truth is, I hate you more now than I did the first day. Then I'm going to be man enough to say to you, you know what? You probably aren't that smart.
Jim Rome, 11 to 2 on Nashville's original sports radio, WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Haven't really talked Titans today. Let's do it. Back here on The McFarland Show. Darren and Justin, we're live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Damon Keene is alongside. Yep. 615-844-5600. The Titans have waived linebacker Monty Rice.
Yeah. You know, I was at the game on Sunday, and I saw Monty Rice on the sideline, and he seemed to be losing fluids, if you know what I mean, on the side of on the sideline there for a little while.
Yakking?
Yeah. Now, football players do these kinds of things sometimes, you know, during games. So I can't say it's the first time I've ever seen that. As a matter of fact, I've seen it more times than not. But I did notice him doing that at, you know, one particular point there in the game. I'm not saying that has anything to do with anything. I'm just saying that he wasn't on the field when I saw him. He was yakking. So, he is the guy that I think they were expecting a lot more from, clearly, and they weren't seeing what they were hoping to see from Monty Rice. And
former third-round pick.
Third-round pick, you know, another guy you're not getting production from. But you know what? At this point, Darren, it's okay. We all know there's no need to relive the draft nightmares. We all understand at this point that the drafts that John Robinson put together when he was here were not panning out. In a lot of cases, they were either boom or they were bust. There were not a lot of average players, is what we're finding out. Either you were really good or you weren't good at all. So Monty Rice is, you know, if they're waiving him now, and listen, he's a young man. He's probably got a lot more football left to play if he's, you know, not hurt or something. So we'll find out if he's got good football left in him. But for this organization at this particular time, it was not working. The scheme wasn't working. And I hope they find whatever it is they're looking for at that position, because Monty Rice was not it.
Okay, Justin, I want to take this time to ask you this question because, quite honestly, I'm just really not that interested in breaking down Titans and Dolphins on Monday night. Obviously, we've got a lot more time to do that. They're going to go down there, and, you know, we know where that's going. Who's kidding who? Okay? So there's really nothing to talk about. They're not going to beat the Dolphins in Miami Monday night.
They could.
I mean, they could. Yeah, sure, in the NFL, it does happen.
The NFL.
Cincinnati beat Jacksonville last
sure
night.
Did. Excuse me. There was a...
I
think a train just arrived.
I was going to say, was that your computer or was that real?
No, I think a train just arrived.
Was that outside?
No,
wow.
No, it wasn't outside.
Okay.
But I think, it's okay.
Okay. I don't think it went out over the air, but, man, that was...
Pardon us.
That was aggressive. So I want to ask you this.
Yes.
Okay?
Sure.
And I'm being serious.
Okay.
Where is, and this is, look, this is not going to be the only time we talk about this, but I'm just going to go on and plop this in your lap right now because I've been thinking about it all week. Because we have not chosen to talk a lot about all this, Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel stuff and Mike Vrabel in New England and all this stuff. We've touched on it, but we haven't, delved into it a lot on this show. I just felt like there's been other things to talk about, okay? I'm not even sure how much I buy all of it.
Okay.
But, look, with every loss mounting, look, you can keep saying Mike Vrabel's your guy for so long, but at some point, it becomes, he's not our guy anymore. And I think they're 4-16 in their last 20 games?
Okay.
That's a whole lot of losing. So my question to you is, where is all this going? Where is this going?
To the draft. What do you mean, where's it going?
I know, but
it's going to the draft.
This franchise,
yeah.
we came out of the dark ages, right? We went through that. This market went through that bad patch. I mean, it's a week. We're not going back to Ken Wisenhunt days, are we?
We might be
in this market.
We might be.
Really?
I mean, because listen, the team is. Where are we, Darren? We're riding the NFL roller coaster. There's very few franchises that don't get to ride the roller coaster. The Patriots are on it now for the first time in a long time.
But most people in that market don't even remember.
They have no idea what we're talking about.
The dark ages.
The Steelers are another team. They don't get to ride it. For them, the roller coaster means going, 9-8. That's the roller coaster. So instead of going 13-4, we went 9-8 this year. Oh, poor us.
Yeah.
That's the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Everybody
49ers.
else. The 49ers had a very brief period where they weren't very good.
Brief.
But most of the time, it's been pretty excellent.
Win. Yeah.
So I would say on average, there's about, maybe 5 or 6 franchises that are really good most of the time. The other 20-something franchises go through this all the time. There is highs and then there's lows. Some have really high highs. Some have really low lows. It just kind of depends on, where we at. So this franchise historically, even going back to the days of Houston, has had high highs, Warren Moon, the run and shoot, playoff runs. Then they've had low lows where those other guys, and it was
there's
bad.
a lot in the middle too.
And there was a lot in the middle.
A lot in the middle.
So a whole lot in the middle. So where are we going? To the draft to rebuild and try again. That's where this team is going.
I know, but how low is this going to go?
Oh,
I feel like I should be singing this.
How low is this going to go? I mean, I don't know. Let me ask you this: why does that matter? Why does that matter?
I need to know when we're coming back out to sunshine and actually contenders and talking about that.
Well,
how long is this going to go on?
In the NFL, that could be as quickly as next year, or it could be the year after.
But I'm saying, do you believe that? Because you got to be honest. A whole lot of good would have to happen. I know they've got a ton of money to spend.
They do.
Okay, at their disposal. Well, they've got a ton of money at their disposal.
Yeah.
Okay, I should put it that way.
Yeah. Who knows if they're going to spend it wisely or not?
Who knows if they're going to spend it, right? I know they will.
Get people to come here. So,
but you got a whole lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
You're going to have high draft picks.
It would seem.
But that doesn't guarantee anything.
No. You still got to make the right selections.
I can name you all kinds of teams that have money to spend in high draft picks, and they don't get any better.
It doesn't work. No.
Right. So when is this going to change? What do you see?
We've been asking that question for 25 years, though, Darren. We don't know when the ride is going to hit the peak again.
Yeah, this is not your locked-in answer. This is your answer today because I'm asking you and I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay.
What is today? December 5th?
Yeah.
December 5th.
When does this get better?
2024.
When does this team go back to the playoffs?
What are we saying about this team?
What are we saying about this team today?
A year from today.
Okay.
What are we sitting here talking about?
I think we're sitting here talking about a team that is 500. That is competitive. That's 500. Why can't it be 500? What happened?
No, I didn't say anything.
You're glaring at me.
Well,
with
I'm
this
just trying to
okay,
what is
like
that?
I just said somebody was going to walk on water outside because I said the team was going to be 500. 500. I didn't say undefeated. I said 500. They can't be 500. It's the NFL. There is complete total roster turnover all the time. You replace the offensive lineman. You add a couple of dynamic receivers. You get another year under Will Levis. You replace some coordinator. If they're going to do all that.
Who's the coach?
Mike Vrabel.
Who's the GM?
Rand Carthen.
Who's the quarterback?
Will Levis.
Okay, so all those things are in, but who's the running back?
It's not Derrick Henry.
It's not Derrick Henry.
No, you got to get Derrick Henry out of
Who's your number one receiver?
Whoa. That's a loaded question. They hope it. Well,
No.
I don't know.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I don't know who the number one receiver is.
So you do not know.
I do not know.
Who's the number one tight end?
Chikakonkwo is going to be here another year.
That's your number one target.
Yeah.
At tight end.
Yeah. He's going to have to.
By the way,
be.
you can answer it. They're not currently on this roster.
Okay. Well, I don't know if the receiver is currently on the roster. That's for sure. The number one receiver, I don't know if they're currently on the roster. The tight end.
Who's the left tackle?
Not currently on the roster. For sure. Not currently on the roster.
Who's the center?
Not currently on the roster.
Okay.
Not currently on the roster. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen, I think, are not going to be back again next year. There's going to be another turnover at offensive line.
615-844-5600. Back to the phones we go. Let's go to Dr. Detroit. Dee, what's up?
Hey, guys, I gave everybody a day to let them say their piece, so I'm calling today. Just real quick, and I'm going to be brief because, I know people are going to be talking about it the rest of the week. What was both of your reaction, guys, on Florida State not making it?
Somebody had to not make it, Dee. Somebody had to not make it. So if it wasn't them, it was going to be somebody else. So it might as well have been them. There's no justice to be done, Dr. Detroit, none. If you take them out, if you put Florida State in and you take somebody else out, now what? Did we fix it? No, we didn't fix it. There's 6 to 7 teams that could go and only 4 spots available. Tough.
So my theory is, and I imagine y'all might agree or disagree, did they do it claim because they're down to their 3rd-string quarterback?
Well, they have a backup who's in concussed who would be back for a playoffs, I suspect, and a 3rd-string freshman quarterback, and it should factor in. Look,
Did that play in?
Do what?
Did that play in?
Yes, and it should. It should.
Yeah.
That's
the only thing I said.
All these people at Florida State fans, no, we saw it for 2 games. It wasn't good. Okay, stop it.
Yeah. Well, it's a major debacle.
I get it. They won all their games, but the reality is if I was on that committee, they would not be in. My vote, no, out.
Now, real quick, what about Auburn going to the wire with Auburn?
You mean with Alabama?
Does that not play in a factor?
You mean with Alabama?
win's a win. Win's a win. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Alabama falling to Auburn there in the last, minute?
Yeah.
Did that play in a factor for Alabama?
No. What played a factor is Alabama went to the SEC championship game and beat the number 1 team that the committee said is the best team in the country.
Yeah. And did their business. Right.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
No. You're right on. You're right on track. All right, the Titans. That was a tough loss, guys. God, that was just a heartbreaking. The season's over for them, correct? As you see it, both of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
As you can tell, I'm asking Justin about the future.
We're going to the draft.
We're already at the draft.
There's going to be a lot of trades. Probably more trades for the Titans in a long, long time.
No. There's going to be cuts, not trades. I don't know. This is not Major League Baseball. We do this every offseason where everybody thinks, well, we're going to trade No, you don't trade everybody. Most guys are cut, released, restructured and released. It's not trades. So, no, they're not going to trade Derrick Henry. They're going to cut him. He's going to leave. They're not going to trade Ryan Tannehill. He's just going to leave. That's just
any contracts that are going to be expired in the upcoming 2024 for the Titans.
Yeah, Tannehill. He's gone.
Oh, well, of course, him. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's definitely gone. All right. Well, hey, just because my Lions are winning, the Titans don't, they're my team. They're right here in the city I was born and raised in. And, yes, I root for the Titans, but that was a tough loss. That was a hard-fought battle game. And, you know what? I really was looking for a Louisville-Tennessee bowl matchup, but who's Tennessee? Louisville's got USC. Is that correct? I think it was.
I don't know. Maryland, Maryland and Auburn is here, and Tennessee is playing Iowa down in Florida.
Do you like the matchup for the Music City Bowl?
Yeah, I don't have a problem. It's better than Kentucky and Iowa last year. Yes.
Hey, and it's a fresh team.
Yes.
To see.
We haven't never seen Maryland.
Never seen Maryland. I think that's fantastic.
And Auburn hasn't been here much, so this is only the 3rd time. So
time for
I like
a fresh team like that.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing all the Ashley Judd's blue in Nashville. Me being a Louisville Cardinal, it appalls me, but it is what it is. All right, guys, thanks so much.
Thank you, Dee. I'm asking this a lot because Trevor Lawrence has got a high ankle sprain. What does that mean? I don't know. They thought it was worse. It was going to be worse than it looks like it's going to be. I think he's going to miss time. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We know because Ryan Tannehill's gone through this before, right?
Yes.
And so I think it's going to affect Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Probably the rest of the season.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
And that's going to affect the Jags.
Yeah, which is going to affect the division.
And I think it stinks because I'm just looking around and I'm like, again, C.J. Stroud looks legit. Houston looks like they have turned things. But what did they do? What did they have to do? They had to basically wipe the slate clean and start over.
Yeah.
Half the team went to Nashville. So that was part of the problem. Because about none of those guys worked out here. And you hired DeMeco Ryans.
Mm-hmm.
You got a new GM.
Yeah.
You got a franchise quarterback in C.J. Stroud. You basically just started off all new receivers, all new tight end and Dalton Schultz, new defensive players, and they just look like they're going to be back to being good. I mean, they may be good enough right now to win. They may be a playoff team.
Okay.
Oh, it was a good win on Sunday against Denver.
Yeah, but Darren, let's not get sucked into the playoff win thing. And the franchise here in Nashville, as you and I, Darren, we've been talking about here, we're not looking to get the team back to the conditions where it can go to the playoffs. We've already been to the playoffs. The team needs to be built to the fact where it can win the Super Bowl. And I understand you got to go to the playoffs before you can win the Super Bowl. I get it. But Houston Texans is not going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they are.
Fair. I agree. I get that.
Is it a good first step compared to being 2-14 last year? Yes, it is. I will give you that.
But they can also keep building.
They can keep building
off a successful roster.
It would be good for them. But I'm just saying that for whatever the Titans need to do moving forward here, it can't just be, we're building back to relevance for a playoff run. No. We got to get a Lombardi in this town.
The reality is, Justin, as you know, as we've talked about for over a year on this show, if he's the real deal, if this is what he is.
Who is he?
C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
And he's going to continue to be at this level or better. They are going to be Super Bowl contenders down the road. You know why? Because they will have that guy under center. And that's the thing here. Until we know, you cannot say, it doesn't matter how much money they have to spend. Until we know the answer is yes on Will Levis. We know the answer is we don't know this offseason. But until we get the answer is yes, he's a franchise quarterback, the reality is you have to have that guy. You're just not going to be where you're talking
There's
about.
A whole lot of people who already think that Will Levis is a franchise quarterback.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
I mean, who?
Who?
The people out there, is the fans.
They think he's the franchise guy. Like he's the elite quarterback.
I don't know about elite. Wait a minute now. There's franchise and there's elite now, because every franchise quarterback's not an elite quarterback per se. So
well, you're not really the franchise quarterback. You're just the starter. There's a difference.
Well,
you're the starter or you're the franchise elite quarterback.
Okay.
The quarterback that's good enough to get you to a Super Bowl.
I think there's a lot of folks who believe Will Levis is the quarterback of the future for this football team.
I mean, Kenny Pickett is a starter in Pittsburgh. He's not taking him to a Super Bowl.
Well, do you think Kenny Pickett's going to be the quarterback next year for the Steelers?
I don't know.
I think
Good
he is.
question.
I think he is.
Yeah, well, then they're not going to be Super Bowl contenders.
Okay. Well, all right.
You see what I mean? Like,
I
there's
do.
a difference.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying.
Like being a starter doesn't get. Derek Carr is a starter in New Orleans. He's a really good quarterback. Is he enough to? Do you feel like you can get to a Super Bowl with him? No.
But for years, Derek Carr was a franchise quarterback. Though.
He was.
He was. So
he was the starter, but they never really believed he was elite, right? Because we kept hearing
then
stuff.
why they pay him for what they paid him?
But there was also rumors that they were going to trade him.
Oh.
And Gruden didn't like him.
If they didn't think he was elite, they wouldn't have signed him to the money that they signed him, I think. If they didn't think he was elite. Now, I know that the market suggested, but I'm just saying that I don't think they would have signed him to the money they signed him to. They did not think he was the elite franchise guy that was going to get them to a Super Bowl. And it obviously didn't work out. And it's not going to work out. There's only one team who's going to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, then we need to get past the language part. Then how about this?
Okay.
Until we figure out in this market, Will Levis is good enough for this team to get where you said this market is ready for. And I agree with you. But until we know the answer is yes, you can win with Will Levis.
Win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, take a break. Come back. More of the McFarland Show next.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro, with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro, where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
We all know that Nashville life can get hectic. In the middle of all the madness that is life, don't forget to take care of yourself. Treat yourself to Nashville's ultimate relaxation experience at Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel. With services for men and women, Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel is your one-stop shop for full body treatment. Begin your experience in the exquisite relaxation room, then enjoy a full body treatment or even a couples massage before finishing in the salon. Located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, Mocara Spa is Nashville's highest quality self-care oasis. To book your experience or gain information on packages, call Mocara Spa today at 615-761-3600. Again, 615-761-3600, or log on to theomnihotel.com. And with every booking, you'll have free valet parking and rooftop pool access to enjoy the Music City skyline. And through Labor Day, enjoy the 4th floor spa terrace for only $20. Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Kentucky. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
I'm not surprised, and I think Kevin Byard gets it.
Producer Debbie is not happy.
Well, she shouldn't be. When they ran off Jeff Fisher, that no one was happy about that because everybody loved him. It was all business. He's due $14 million next year, okay? Not going to be on the roster next year. Get something for him.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR. Nashville Sports Radio.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
We know yesterday Mike Vrabel said he had fired Craig Ackerman, who was the special teams coordinator. And look, the reality is he's going to have to fire more coaches because this is not going to get any better. Well, no, he will. He'll have to. He will. Because you can't, again, this is going back to the Predators example when we were taking calls last season of, what if they decide to bring everybody back? They're not, okay? And that's when I said, they're not, okay? They're not going to insult you. The Titans aren't going to insult you. Mike Vrabel's not going to insult this fan base, this market, and say, no, just trust me. The staff will get way better this year. This is just an off year. Like, you just got to trust. No, that's not how it works. He will not. Okay. He'll have to make changes and pretty significant changes, I suspect. Or it's not going to be just Craig Ackerman and that's it. He'll have to make more changes. He's going to have to improve his staff. So, but again, what does that mean? I don't know. Okay, it just means there's new coaches in place, and we'll see if he hires the right people and it helps him in certain places. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is how much longer are we going to sit here? Because really, the results are the results. We know was Sunday a good game? Yeah, I mean, Dr. Troy, it was a good game.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot of special teams nightmares, which obviously cost the coach his job, but overall it was fun. There was scoring.
Sure.
For the most part, as we've said on the show, I've said it. They're pretty much a boring team. They are. They're pretty boring. But Sunday wasn't boring.
No.
They lost.
Not going to see too many 25 games at the end of regulation.
No.
So, it's interesting.
And I just think that I'm just trying to figure out, when does this end? When does this patch end? And who's in place when it ends? Is it the same people, or is there going to be changes? Like, at some point, you could keep saying Mike Vrabel's our guy, but we all know how this works in professional sports.
Okay.
You keep losing, you're going to have to do something at some point.
So are you suggesting that if the Titans only win one game the rest of the year?
No, I've said they're going to. I said they're going to be 5-12.
I understand. If the Titans only win one game the rest of the year, and continue what this rocky path they're on in 5-12, are you suggesting that the losses will continue to mount and lead up to some type of fever pitch, where at some point after the loss to Houston the second time will be the time where Amy Adams says, okay, that's enough. I've seen enough. We're done here. That second loss to Houston was the one where I decided that Mike Vrabel was no longer my guy. Or are we to the point to where that I think we are, where we know what the football team is already? You've already pronounced that the football team is 5-12. So if the football team continues to lose, then why is this shocking? If the football team continues to lose every Sunday, if the football team is bad, and we've seen the football team is wildly inconsistent,
it's not shocking. That's why we're having this conversation.
Why then would anything change as far as the future of Mike Vrabel towards the end of the season versus now?
I didn't say at the end of the season. I said at some point. I mean, you think about it. If they go 5-12, so that is 5 in. So you count last year's 7-game losing streak.
Yeah.
You lose 12 games this year, so that's 5-19 in your last 24 games.
Okay.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do I think anything's no, nothing's going to, but I suspect he's going to have to make changes. The other dynamic to this, Justin, is Amy Adams Strunk's role in this. Like, we still don't know.
We still don't know.
Did Mike Vrabel just wake up and say, okay, I got to make a change with Craig Ackerman? Or did he get a nudge?
Phone call, text message?
Did he get a nudge?
Smoke signal?
Hey.
Courier pigeon with a note on the foot? I don't know.
Is this going to continue to be a problem, you think? Or was that a one-off? Or what do you think? You know how those conversations
football
are.
Through the window with a note
email
attached?
goes.
I don't know.
Just asking for a friend.
Listen, I don't know. And that's the key. And they don't want us to know, because and that's the other part that we haven't talked about. Because if they wanted us to know, we would know. They don't want us to know. So I don't know what that means exactly. As far as but you and I have been doing this long enough to know that part. If they wanted us to know who exactly was responsible for making sure that Craig Ackerman was no longer here, then we would have that information. It would be readily available from credible sources. But we don't, which means they really don't want us to know. So, and that's fine, I guess. I guess we don't have to know for now.
We'll take our final break, come back, and wrap up the first hour. The Tuesday edition of the McFarland Show. We'll do that next.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Granger presents The Ones Who Get It Done. As the college football season progresses, the excitement continues to grow with packed stadiums and cheering crowds. Each team still dreams of winning the college football national championship, but come January 1st, only 4 teams will remain in contention. The question is, will Georgia be one of the 4, and can they pull off another championship for a three-peat? Only time will tell. The Ones Who Get It Done has been sponsored by Granger. Call, click, Granger.com, or just stop on by. Say, for the ones who get it done, Granger is offering high-quality supplies and solutions for every single industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and the experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people even safer. So, call, click, Granger.com, or just stop on by. Granger.com.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
It's a Bill King Show.
We are college football centric. That is the sun that warms our planet that we live on. Our planet actually isn't flat or round. It's an oblong spheroid. And we are here to proselytize about it, edify it every day on this here radio show.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Honest opinions, genuine conversations. The McFarland Show.
Predators in Chicago tonight. Hopefully they don't have to listen to that silly goal song. United Center, 7:30, puck drop.
Are you talking about Here Come the Hawks, the Mighty Blackhawks? No. That song? What are you talking about?
Their stupid goal song.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry.
7:30.
Something's going on.
They played here on November 18th, so not that long ago, a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And Preds won 4-2. So on the road tonight in Chicago, Blackhawks, 7:30 puck drop, and then they'll be back home Thursday against the Lightning. There is stuff out there swirling that Tyson Barrie is going to be on the move here.
Okay.
Soon, possibly, maybe.
We'll see. Long way from the trading deadline.
They've got, and his contract is up at the end of the year, and there's something you can get. I mean, he will come, you'll get something in return. He's something that you can dangle out there and get something in return for a guy that it's very clear and evident that they're not bringing back. So,
okay. So that's something.
He's the one that came over in the Matthias Ekholm trade with Edmonton.
When would they make that decision, though? Like, how many more games are we talking about?
I don't know.
Because, they're junctures, of the season when major decisions need to be made. And I don't know what the mile markers are. But you got to decide, are we jumping off at this exit or we go keep going a few more miles? Like, what we doing? So I don't know where the mile markers are.
It feels like it's going to be sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Yeah.
We stopping for gas here or you want to keep going?
Usually, if you're asking that question, you're ready to stop. You know what I mean? Right?
That is true.
I mean, think about it. If you're asking the question, you're not like, 30 more miles? Sure, okay, that's cool. No, you're like, I think this would be a good time.
That sounds like one of my trips recently.
Well, I mean, if you start, we all do this. That's why we can relate to what you're saying. Everybody does this. I'm just saying, if you are giving the choices, if that conversation is in play, it's probably now.
Yeah.
The answer is now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a mouth suggestion.
Definitely, yes.
It's with me. It's a yes.
Yeah. Stop it now. Stop it now. Stop it now.
As I always say to people, I don't ever just walk onto a car lot and just look around.
Yeah.
You're
there with a purpose.
I don't ever just, let's just go look at houses.
No, you're
just for giggles.
You're not at the open house Sunday afternoon just because?
No.
You don't say, let's just wait till we get to Buc-ee's.
No, we know. We don't just say hey, Buc-ee's now, or we'll just stop a little bit later.
Buc-ee's is sort of an exception. Buc-ee's is a destination kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Buc-ee's is like accidentally ending up in Disneyland. Like, you don't accidentally end up at Walt Disney World.
But if it's 76 miles away, you stop it before you get there.
Destination.
By the way, and the one is open in the picture where the Smokies play.
Sure.
That was an exit 407, I think.
Okay.
It's the biggest one in the country. Apparently they have, not apparently, I think they have over 100 pumps.
Okay. Well,
it's crazy.
Well, it sounds like it.
It's like a highway to get to it.
It sounds like it.
It's nuts.
Good for them.
Well, those people.
They're making a lot of money.
Mr. Bucky is rich.
Yes, he is.
Good idea, Mr. Bucky, whoever you are. They started in Texas. That's going to do it for our show today. Have a great rest of your day. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We'll see you then.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
Sports Radio. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
Hour number 3 of our radio program. That's right, rocking and rolling. It is the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. The transfer portal, it's crazy how quickly it picks up in intensity and with how many names that we do have of big-time college football players. And it makes a lot of these bowl games irrelevant because either you're sitting out because you're off to the NFL